Hi everyone, welcome back to our podcast. We discuss this. I am Lakshmi,
And I'm Madhuri.
and today we're going to be talking about a very personal topic. It's called midlife reset. Am I losing myself or finally finding myself? Right?
What is midlife reset? I think we've all heard the term getting thrown around, which is midlife crisis. But then, if we're honest, it's not, life is not just like crisis after crisis after crisis. I mean, life is like the smaller moments. So, I think a reset sounds more appropriate because if you think back to maybe your 20s, if you had to turn back time and ask your 20-year-old self you know, what you would look like or what your life would look like at say 35 or 40 or 50 or whatever, uh, would what they say be anywhere close to what your life is today? And the reason to like ask this is as we get older, we tend to become a lot more introspective because we've technically, reached a stage where we're checking off all the things that we're supposed to do, right? Or what society tells us, you've got to do by this age. But when you really think about it, are you, is it just me or do you like get the feeling of, am I there yet? Like, is this how it's supposed to feel? So I think that's what I would say. This would sound like a lot of introspection, a lot of recalibrating. Whether your expectations versus realities match. So yeah.
Absolutely. So I think a lot of us in life, we have reached a certain stage that we thought we would reach, and we've achieved all those things, right? But we often feel uh, quite unsettled when we look back and say, "Okay, I've achieved this, but now what?" Right? So if uh, all of you or any of you have felt this at any point in time, this episode is definitely for you.
So, what are the signs that you might be experiencing midlife reset? It could be, feeling restless, despite having achieved, all your dreams, or you've checked off a lot of, ticked off a lot of boxes of things that you have aspired to do, but yet there is this little voice in your head which is kind of, a nagging little voice saying, "Is this it? Is it? Am I now supposed to feel great about everything?" Like, that little uncertainty, that little restlessness. It could also be, losing interest in something that, really excited you when you were younger. And it could be things like, as you grow older, your priorities change and your interests change. So what might have motivated me in my 20s, I don't think motivate me now. So
Yeah. Also, may it could also be craving for more purpose or meaning in life. Say, for example, you what motivated you once may not be what motivates you now. At this point, some of us go into spirituality, some of us go into fitness. So it could be just finding new purpose and meaning in life, and it doesn't always have to be material, right? Or materialistic, right? The
yeah.
other thing is looking at your relationships and reassessing those, your relationships, your friendships, and reassessing those and saying, okay, who are these people? Do these people bring meaning to my life, happiness to my life? Am I doing the same or having these relationships just for the sake of it? Or is there more meaning or depth to that, right? You are looking for a close knit group of people, whether it is relationships, whether it is friendships, where you can be yourself with. You don't have to pretend, and it is not superficial.
Exactly. And, speaking of, different relationships, friendships, etc., we're not part of the same group, so we're not part of the same circles that we were part of in college. And, life sort of evolves in a way that it could be that uh, just proximity kept you friends, right? Just meeting someone every single day. This could even happen at like different jobs that that you've had, where you become like really good friends with someone, but after you've left that job, it's just more like an acquaintance, right? So a lot of things could still just be that your friends, or you have a circle around you simply based on proximity. But what's important is for you to actually recognize and have fewer friendships and fewer meaningful relationships where you can actually be yourself, and you're valued for it.
Yeah. And I think one other point that I do want to touch base on is feeling that pull between responsibilities and your personal dreams. This could be a great point where you feel, okay, I may be ready to venture into something different, something new, although I do have the responsibilities, because you can't completely ignore the responsibilities and the obligations, all of that you have, right?
Right. Like you can't just like run off into the woods, like abandon everything and everyone and just go live like a hermit. That's not happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Why do we feel spent? Or why do we feel that, this midlife crisis, is happening to us? And that's probably because we spend years um, fulfilling roles, right? We fulfill our role as a partner, we fulfill our role as a caregiver to older parents. We're trying to meet expectations or achieve a certain goal as a professional, right? And what happens is we try and attach ourselves to a particular role or responsibility in that time that we feel that burnout, right?
Yeah, and to that point, I think there's a hidden opportunity there, because as we're getting older and midlife, so to speak, you become more self-aware, you become more confident, because life has sort of put you through so many experiences that you've overcome things, it builds on your own confidence, etc. So it's a good time to really reshape what success means to you, reshape what having a certain level of achievement means to you. It's completely up to us, and I think it's important to to redefine those roles as we grow.
Absolutely. It's also an opportunity to pursue your passion and your dreams. Okay, because for example, we started this podcast and we've been talking about it for the longest time, right? It never came to life till we said one fine day that we are going to do this. Let's just start. We don't care, how we're going to do it. We didn't think about the logistics. We didn't think about, any of those things. We just
Took a
dived.
leap of
Yeah,
faith.
yeah, absolutely. So it could be that, it could be like learning a new skill. I remember that there was this friend of mine who is a parent, okay, and she now learns a form of dance. She learns Kathak with her daughter, because she's always wanted to do that. So these are just hidden opportunities, during this phase that you can pursue and that you can find out.
For sure. And it's never too late. It's never too late unless you put that blockage for yourself. It's not too late. Follow whatever that, that dream which just kept getting, pushed to the side just because there are too many things to do. Now's the time. If not now, then when?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we don't want this to be a lecture session, right? And when we talk about topics, it is topics that's very personal to us, right? Which is why this we decided to talk about this topic, right? And but I think we also want to touch base on what are some of the steps that you can take to incorporate or help you transition this phase smoothly and slightly more seamlessly, because we've been trying to figure it as well, right? I think the first thing would be to audit your current life, audit your current situation, see what aspect of your life or what situation takes most of your energy and what drains you out, right? And once that is done, then maybe think about uh, your passions, your interests. Look at baby steps of trying to pursue those passions, whether it is going for a singing lesson, going for a dance session, maybe going to the gym because fitness has been your goal and you've not been able to provide time for it. And it could also be something as big as a business venture, but start taking baby steps towards these lost interests and lost passion.
Yeah, for sure. And everything doesn't have to be, you reach 100, right? You can experiment with small things. Look at what makes you feel happier, more energized, versus, doing certain things just feel like a chore, right? I mean, when you're not happy with doing something, you get the Monday blues and, you start feeling bad about it. You don't like to, you don't want to take that first step. So clearly that's something that you don't like and that's not for you, right? So try these little things, small little experiments. It doesn't have to be drastic changes today, right? You can just start with trying something out. Go try a class, instead of signing up for like a whole thing. Go, and if fitness is your goal, instead of going and signing up to the gym, for a whole year, go try out a few classes, see what you like. And it definitely doesn't have to be drastic. And more importantly, it's about progress. Whatever you do identify that you like, that energizes you, that makes you feel happy, it's about progress. We're definitely not going to think of getting to the peak like today, right? It is going to be about slow steps going towards your reinvention, if you will, but it's not about changing like 180 today.
Yeah, absolutely. So stop procrastinating. Just take that first step because you're going to spend a lot of your time just procrastinating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And I think we're all guilty of that. I know I am. And I think so. Finally, what we are trying to say is, it's important to what this does, the opportunity of having an introspection like this is to actually identify what makes you happy. It's to identify what makes you feel great and to take those steps. I think, having said all of that, it's not about reaching from 0 to 100 today, right? The better question would be, what can you do slowly, with baby steps every day? Is it a crisis, or is it an opportunity for you to actually find yourself? Maybe what might have worked 20 years ago doesn't work today, and what that could mean is, you're just, slowly evolving into the next version of who you are. So I think it's about letting go of some of these older attachments and just embracing what's coming.
Anyway, that was our take on midlife reset, finding yourself or losing yourself, right? Um, so, with that, I think we will see you in our next episode. But please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, see you. Bye bye.